Welcome to my YouTube channel, What If Elon? Don't miss out on great stories about Elon Musk told by me personally.
Chapter 7. Anomalies from Earth's Core. The quiet hum of sophisticated equipment filled the subterranean laboratory at MIT. Dr. Sarah Chen, lead researcher of the Earth's Magnetic Field Monitoring Project, furrowed her brow as she studied the latest readouts. Something wasn't right. "Professor Williams, could you take a look at this?" she called out, her voice tinged with concern. Her colleague approached, adjusting his glasses as he peered at the screen. His eyes widened. "Good Lord," he muttered, "I've never seen fluctuations like these before." Across the globe, from the icy expanses of Antarctica to the scorching deserts of Australia, geomagnetic observatories were reporting similar anomalies. The Earth's magnetic field, long considered a stable force, was behaving erratically. At NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, analysts pored over data from a fleet of Earth-observing satellites. The sophisticated instruments, designed to monitor everything from weather patterns to tectonic movements, were painting a disturbing picture of the planet's magnetic core. The changes we're seeing in the core's structure are unprecedented. Dr. Marcus Lopez, head of NASA's Geomagnetism Division, explained during an emergency briefing. "It's as if the Earth's heart is skipping beats, and we don't know why." News of the anomalies quickly reached Elon Musk. The tech mogul, still riding high on the success of SpaceX's latest launches, found himself drawn into a mystery that could have profound implications for his ambitious plans. Musk immediately reached out to his network of scientific contacts, seeking to understand the full scope of the situation. "We need to gather all available data," he instructed his team. "This could affect everything from our satellite deployments to our Mars colonization plan." As scientists around the world grappled with the implications of the magnetic anomalies, reports began to surface of disruptions to GPS systems and satellite communications. Airlines reported navigation discrepancies, while power grids experienced unexpected surges and fluctuations. The growing body of evidence prompted the International Union of Geodesy and Geophysics, IUGG, to convene an emergency online conference. Geophysicists from around the world gathered virtually to share data, theories, and potential courses of action. Dr. Chen, addressing her colleagues from her MIT lab, laid out the stark reality of their situation. "The rate of decline in the magnetic field strength is orders of magnitude faster than anything we've observed in the geological record," she explained, her voice steady despite the gravity of her words. "If this trend continues, the implications for life on Earth could be catastrophic." The conference erupted into a flurry of questions and theories. Some researchers argued that they were witnessing a geomagnetic excursion, a temporary and localized weakening of the magnetic field. Others posited more alarming hypotheses, including the possibility of a full magnetic pole reversal. As the scientific community debated, Elon Musk took action. He reached out to the administrators of NASA and other space agencies around the world, seeking any additional information they might have about the magnetic anomalies. "We need to approach this problem from every angle," Musk declared in a hastily arranged video conference with top scientists and engineers from SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink. "I want ideas on the table, no matter how outlandish they might seem." The brainstorming session that followed was intense and wide-ranging. Ideas flew back and forth, from massive orbital magnetic field generators to deep Earth interventions aimed at stabilizing the planet's core. Meanwhile, as scientists and space agencies grappled with the unfolding crisis, the media began to take notice. Initial reports were cautious, often buried in the science sections of major news outlets. However, as more information became available and the potential consequences became clearer, coverage expanded rapidly. Headlines like "Earth's Magnetic Shield Weakening," "What It Means for You," and "Scientists Baffled by Strange Behavior of Planet's Core" began to appear on front pages and dominate news broadcasts. Social media buzzed with a mix of genuine concern, wild speculation, and inevitable conspiracy theories. The public reaction to these reports was a mixture of anxiety, skepticism, and confusion. Many struggled to understand the implications of a weakening magnetic field, while others dismissed the news as yet another overhyped scientific scare. In response to the growing crisis and public concern, leading scientists from around the world issued a joint statement calling for a dramatic increase in funding and resources for Earth's magnetic field research. They emphasized the need for more advanced monitoring systems, increased satellite coverage, and deeper investigation into the dynamics of the planet's core. We are facing a phenomenon that could have profound implications for life on Earth, the statement read. It is imperative that we marshal all available resources to understand and, if possible, address these changes in our planet's magnetic field. As the chapter draws to a close, the world finds itself on the brink of a potential crisis that few had anticipated. The weakening of Earth's magnetic field presents a challenge that transcends national boundaries and political divisions, requiring a truly global response. The discoveries outlined in this chapter raise profound questions about our planet's future and humanity's place on it. As scientists race to understand the changes occurring deep within the Earth, implications for our technology, our environment, and our very way of life hang in the balance. To stay informed about these critical developments and to engage in discussions about their potential impact on our world, we encourage you to subscribe to the What If Elon YouTube channel. Join us as we continue to explore the intersection of science, technology, and the future of our planet
What did you think
in
of
these
the last
unprecedented
chapter?
times.
Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, What If Elon, for more exciting content. Your support means a lot.
Chapter 8. Red Alert: The Impact of Magnetic Field Decline on Life. The auditorium of the National Academy of Sciences in Washington, D.C. was packed to capacity. Scientists, journalists, and government officials from around the world had gathered for what promised to be a landmark announcement. The air was thick with anticipation as Dr. Elena Rodriguez, lead author of the comprehensive report on Earth's magnetic field, approached the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rodriguez began, her voice steady despite the gravity of her words. What I am about to present to you today will fundamentally change our understanding of the challenges facing our planet. She paused, eyes scanning the room. The Earth's magnetic field, our invisible shield against cosmic radiation, is weakening at an unprecedented rate. A hush fell over the audience as Dr. Rodriguez began to detail the findings of the report. Graphs and charts flashed on the screen behind her, each one more alarming than the last. The data showed a 15% decrease in the magnetic field strength over just the past year, a rate of decline orders of magnitude faster than anything observed in the geological record. To put this in perspective, Dr. Rodriguez explained, the current rate of decay is equivalent to what we would typically expect to see over thousands of years, not months. If this trend continues, the consequences for life on Earth could be severe. As the presentation progressed, Dr. Rodriguez and her team of experts explained the crucial role the magnetic field plays in protecting Earth from harmful solar radiation and cosmic rays. They detailed how the field helps to stabilize our climate, protect our atmosphere, and shield the intricate web of electronic systems that modern civilization depends upon. The audience listened in stunned silence as Dr. Rodriguez outlined the potential consequences of a severely weakened magnetic field. We could see significant damage to our ozone layer, leading to increased rates of skin cancer and other health issues, she explained. Our electronic infrastructure, from power grids to satellite communications, could face widespread disruption, and the very composition of our atmosphere could be altered, with unpredictable effects on global climate patterns. To illustrate these potential outcomes, the team presented a series of computer simulations. The models showed various scenarios, from moderate to severe, depicting the possible future states of Earth under a weakened magnetic field. Images of intense aurora visible from the equator, maps showing increased cancer rates due to cosmic radiation, and projections of massive satellite and power grid failures drove home the gravity of the situation. As the presentation concluded, the room erupted into a frenzy of questions. Journalists clamored for sound bites, while scientists debated the finer points of the data. Government officials huddled in corners, urgently discussing the implications for national security and public safety. Amidst the chaos, Elon Musk sat in quiet contemplation. As soon as the press conference ended, he sprang into action, organizing an emergency meeting with top scientists and engineers from his various companies. The meeting, held virtually due to the urgency and global nature of the participants, brought together some of the brightest minds in physics, engineering, and planetary science. Musk opened the discussion with his characteristic blend of urgency and optimism. "We're facing an unprecedented threat to our planet," Musk began, his face serious on the screens of participants around the world. "But I believe that with our combined expertise and resources, we can find a solution. I want ideas on the table, no matter how outlandish they might seem." The brainstorming session that followed was intense and wide-ranging. Ideas flew back and forth from massive orbital magnetic field generators to deep Earth interventions aimed at stabilizing the planet's core. While many of the proposals were quickly deemed impractical or technologically unfeasible, the exercise highlighted the scale of the challenge and the need for innovative thinking. As Musk and his team grappled with potential technological solutions, the real-world impacts of the weakening magnetic field were becoming increasingly apparent. Meteorologists and atmospheric scientists reported a measurable increase in cosmic radiation reaching Earth's surface. While the levels were not yet dangerous, they were noticeably higher than historical norms, particularly in high-latitude regions. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a radiation expert from the University of Tokyo, explained the implications in a widely shared online lecture. "The increase in cosmic radiation we're observing is like a canary in a coal mine," he said. "It's an early warning sign of the changes occurring in our magnetic shield. If this trend continues, we could see significant impacts on human health, agriculture, and ecosystems worldwide." Indeed, the first reports of these impacts were beginning to surface. In northern regions, there were isolated cases of unusual migratory bird behavior, with flocks becoming disoriented and straying far from their usual routes. Marine biologists noted similar disruptions in sea turtle navigation. While these incidents were not yet widespread, they hinted at the potential for larger ecological disruptions. More alarmingly, medical researchers in high-latitude countries reported a slight but statistically significant increase in radiation-related health issues. While they cautioned against drawing premature conclusions, the data was concerning enough to prompt calls for more comprehensive health monitoring programs. As these reports filtered through to the general public, a sense of unease began to spread. In many countries, people started to demand action from their governments. Emergency preparedness became a hot topic, with citizens seeking information on how to protect themselves from increased radiation exposure. Governments around the world found themselves scrambling to respond to the crisis. In Washington, D.C., President Trump convened a special session of the National Security Council to discuss the implications of the weakening magnetic field. Similar high-level meetings were taking place in capitals across the globe. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency session to address the global nature of the threat. There were calls for a coordinated international response, with some nations proposing the formation of a new UN body specifically tasked with addressing the magnetic field crisis. As governments debated their responses, public reaction veered between panic and skepticism. In some cities, there were reports of people stockpiling supplies, reminiscent of Cold War-era nuclear fears. Sales of radiation detection devices and supposed protective products soared, despite many of these items being of questionable efficacy. Protests erupted in major cities worldwide, demonstrators demanding immediate action to address the crisis. In London, thousands gathered in Trafalgar Square with signs reading "Save Our Shield" and "Act Now or Perish." Similar scenes played out in New York, Tokyo, and other global metropolises. At the same time, climate change deniers and certain political groups seized on the magnetic field crisis, cast doubt on other environmental concerns. They argued that this new threat proved that Earth's systems were too complex for human activities to have a significant impact. Using this logic, pushed back against climate change mitigation efforts. Amidst the growing panic and political maneuvering, voices of reason emerged from the scientific community. Dr. Sarah Chen, whose team at MIT had been at the forefront of detecting the magnetic anomalies, made a public appeal for calm and focused action. Panic and fear will not solve this crisis, Dr. Chen stated in a widely broadcast interview. What we need now is clear-headed research, innovation, and global cooperation. Yes, the situation is serious, but it's not hopeless. Humanity has faced great challenges before, and we've always found a way forward through science and collaboration. Other scientists echoed this sentiment, emphasizing the need for increased funding for research and the importance of following evidence-based approaches to addressing the crisis. They warned against knee-jerk reactions and pseudoscientific solutions that were already beginning to proliferate on the internet. As the world grappled with the implications of the weakening magnetic field, Elon Musk found himself increasingly drawn into the center of the global response. His company's expertise in space technology, energy systems, and cutting-edge research positioned him uniquely to contribute to potential solutions. In a late-night tweet that quickly went viral, Musk hinted at a bold new direction. Earth's magnetic field is failing. But what if we could create our own? Space-based solutions might be our best bet. More to come. #Save our shield. This cryptic message set off a flurry of speculation and excitement. What did Musk have in mind? How could space technology possibly address a problem rooted deep within the Earth itself? As the chapter draws to a close, the world finds itself at a critical juncture. The weakening of Earth's magnetic field has evolved from a scientific curiosity to a global crisis with potentially existential implications. Governments, scientists, and private enterprises are mobilizing to face this unprecedented challenge, but the path forward remains uncertain. Coming days, weeks, and months will be crucial in determining humanity's response to this threat. Will we find a way to stabilize or regenerate Earth's magnetic field? Or will we need to find new ways to protect ourselves from a more hostile environment? To stay informed about these critical developments and to engage in discussions about potential solutions, we encourage you to subscribe to the What If Elon YouTube channel. Join us as we continue to explore the intersection of science, technology, and humanity's future in the face of this global crisis.
What did you think of the last chapter? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, What If Elon, for more exciting content. Your support means a lot.
Chapter 9: Global Response to the Magnetic Crisis. The Oval Office hummed with tension as President Donald Trump prepared to address the nation. The weight of the impending announcement hung heavy in the air, palpable even through the lenses of the assembled cameras. As the red light blinked on, signaling the start of the live broadcast, Trump leaned forward, his face a mask of grave determination. "My fellow American," he began, his voice uncharacteristically somber, "today I come before you to declare a national state of emergency. The threat we face is unlike any in our nation's history. The rapid weakening of Earth's magnetic field puts not just our country, but all of humanity at risk." Trump went on to outline the gravity of the situation, drawing on the scientific reports that had shocked the world in recent weeks. He emphasized the need for immediate action and unprecedented global cooperation. "This is not a time for politics or division," Trump continued, his tone resolute. "We must unite as a species to protect our shared home. To that end, I am inviting leaders from every nation to join us in forming a global magnetic shield initiative." As Trump's words echoed across the nation, reactions poured in from around the globe. In Brussels, the European Union convened an emergency session to discuss a unified European strategy. Leaders from all 27 member states gathered, setting aside their usual political differences in the face of this existential threat. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, addressed the Assembly. "The crisis we face knows no borders. Europe must stand united and work hand in hand with our global partners. We propose the creation of a European Magnetic Field Research and Response Agency with a budget of €50 billion over the next 5 years. The EU's proposed agency would coordinate research efforts across European universities and institutions, develop protective technologies, and contribute to global initiatives." Proposal also included plans for public education campaigns and support for member states in implementing protective measures. Meanwhile, in Beijing, the Chinese government held a press conference to announce its own ambitious plans. President Xi Jinping unveiled a massive investment package aimed at bolstering China's research into geomagnetism and protective technologies. China is committed to playing a leading role in addressing this global crisis, President Xi stated. We are allocating 500 billion yuan to establish the world's largest geomagnetic research facility and to develop cutting-edge technologies to mitigate the effects of the weakening magnetic field. The Chinese initiative included plans for a network of advanced sensors across the country and in space, development of radiation shielding materials, and research into methods to potentially stabilize the Earth's core. The announcement was seen by many as an attempt by China to position itself as a leader in this crucial field of research. Russia's response to the crisis took a more controversial turn. In a bold and divisive move, President Vladimir Putin proposed the use of nuclear technology to address the problem at its source, the Earth's core. We have the technology and expertise to potentially reinvigorate the Earth's magnetic field using controlled nuclear reactions deep within the planet, Putin declared in a televised address. It is a drastic measure, but these are drastic times. The Russian proposal immediately sparked intense debate and concern among scientists and world leaders. While some saw it as a potential last resort option, many others warned of the catastrophic risks associated with such an intervention. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the lead author of the comprehensive report on Earth's magnetic field, voiced her concerns in an emergency panel discussion broadcast globally. While we appreciate the urgency driving such proposals, she cautioned, tampering with the Earth's core using nuclear technology could have unforeseen and potentially catastrophic consequences. We need solutions that don't risk exacerbating the very problem we're trying to solve. As the world's major powers outlined their strategies, developing nations found themselves struggling to address the crisis with limited resources. At an emergency session of the United Nations General Assembly, representatives from Africa, South Asia, and South America made impassioned pleas for support. Our nations are already grappling with the effects of climate change, the representative from Kenya stated, her voice tinged with frustration. We simply do not have the resources to face this new threat alone. We call on the global community to ensure that protective measures and technologies are shared equitably with all nations. In response to these concerns, the United Nations began drafting plans for a global fund to assist vulnerable nations in implementing protective measures and contributing to research efforts. However, disagreements quickly emerged over how such a fund should be financed and managed. Back in the United States, Elon Musk's expertise in space technology and innovative problem-solving had caught the attention of the highest levels of government. The White House extended an invitation to Musk to participate in high-level meetings on technological solutions to the magnetic field crisis. Musk's arrival at the White House drew significant media attention. Reporters clamored for details about the potential space-based solutions he had hinted at in his viral tweet. While Musk remained tight-lipped about the specifics, he expressed optimism about humanity's ability to overcome the crisis through technology and innovation. We're exploring several promising avenues, Musk told reporters as he entered the White House. The solution may lie not just in Earth-based interventions, but in harnessing the vast resources and unique conditions of space. I'm here to share our ideas and collaborate with the government on potential strategies. Inside, Musk joined a team of top scientists, military officials, and policymakers to discuss and evaluate various technological approaches to the crisis. The meetings, which stretched over several days, covered a wide range of potential solutions, from massive orbiting magnetic field generators, methods for stabilizing the Earth's core. As these high-level discussions took place in Washington and other capitals around the world, international organizations mobilized to coordinate a truly global response. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency session, resulting in the creation of a dedicated task force to address the magnetic field crisis. UNESCO and the World Health Organization, WHO, began developing comprehensive guidelines for protecting human health and cultural heritage sites from increased cosmic radiation. The International Telecommunication Union, ITU, started work on strategies to safeguard global communication systems from disruptions caused by the weakening magnetic field. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Director General of the WHO, emphasized the health implications of the crisis in a press conference. "We are facing a potential public health emergency on a global scale," he warned. "Increased exposure to cosmic radiation could lead to higher rates of cancer and other health issues. We must act now to protect vulnerable populations and develop strategies to mitigate these risks." Despite these coordinated efforts, conflicts began to emerge between nations over resource allocation and research priorities. Some countries pushed for immediate implementation of protective measures, while others argued for focusing resources on finding a long-term solution to stabilize the magnetic field. These disagreements came to a head at a global summit hastily convened in Geneva. Representatives from over 190 countries gathered to hash out a unified strategy, but negotiations quickly became contentious. "We cannot wait for years of research while our people suffer the effects of increased radiation," argued the Brazilian delegate, her voice rising with emotion. "We need immediate action to protect vulnerable populations." In contrast, the Japanese representative emphasized the need for a measured, science-based approach. Rushing into unproven solutions could have unintended consequences. "We must prioritize thorough research and testing before large-scale implementation of any technology." As world leaders debated and scientists raced to find solutions, public reaction to the crisis and the various proposed measures varied widely. In some countries, citizens rallied behind their government's efforts, with volunteers signing up en masse for radiation monitoring programs and participating in public preparedness drills. In New York City, a grassroots movement called Shield Up NYC organized community workshops on radiation protection and lobbied local government for increased funding for public shelters. The movement quickly spread to other major cities, showcasing the power of community action in the face of global threats. However, not all public responses were as constructive. In several European capitals, environmental activists took to the streets, arguing that the massive investments in space exploration were diverting resources from more pressing issues like climate change. In Paris, a group of protesters chained themselves to the gates of the European Space Agency headquarters, holding signs that read, "Save Earth first and no escape to Mars." Demonstrations highlighted the complex ethical questions raised by the crisis and humanity's response to it. Meanwhile, in India, a group of spiritual leaders organized a massive meditation event, claiming that collective spiritual energy could help stabilize the Earth's magnetic field. While many dismissed the event as pseudoscience, it attracted millions of participants and showcased the diverse ways in which different cultures were grappling with the crisis. As public opinion swayed between support and skepticism, scientists around the world continued to emphasize the need for increased research and international cooperation. Dr. Sarah Chen, whose team at MIT had been at the forefront of detecting the magnetic anomalies, published an open letter calling for a global scientific coalition. "This crisis transcends national borders and political ideologies," Dr. Chen wrote. "We need a Manhattan Project, the 21st century, concentrated, cooperative effort that brings together the brightest minds from every corner of the globe. Only through shared knowledge and resources can we hope to address this unprecedented threat to our planet." The letter, co-signed by hundreds of leading scientists from dozens of countries, sparked a renewed push for international scientific collaboration. Universities and research institutions around the world began establishing new programs and partnerships focused on geomagnetics and space technologies. As the chapter draws to a close, the world finds itself at a critical juncture. The global response to the magnetic field crisis has showcased both potential for unprecedented cooperation and the persistent challenges of international politics. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether humanity can truly come together, face this existential threat. The decisions made by world leaders, the innovations proposed by scientists and engineers, and the actions taken by ordinary citizens will all play a role in shaping the future of our planet. As the first wave of global responses unfolds, one thing becomes clear. The magnetic field crisis is not just a scientific challenge, but a test of our ability to act as a unified global community in the face of a common threat. To stay informed about the ongoing developments in the global response to the magnetic field crisis, and to engage in discussions about potential solutions, we encourage you to subscribe to the What If Elon YouTube channel. Join us as we continue to explore the complex interplay of science, politics, and human ingenuity in addressing this unprecedented challenge to life on Earth. Chapter 10: Musk's Martian Revelation. The SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, buzzed with an electric energy that seemed to pulse through its very walls. Employees hurried through corridors, their faces a mix of excitement and nervous anticipation. Something big was about to happen, and everyone could feel it. In a secure conference room deep within the facility, Elon Musk stood before a gathering of SpaceX's top scientists and engineers. The usual twinkle in his eye had been replaced by an intensity made even his most seasoned colleagues shift uneasily in their seats. "Ladies and gentlemen," Musk began, his voice steady but charged with excitement, "what I'm about to show you will change everything. Not just for SpaceX, not just for space exploration, but for the future of humanity itself." With a dramatic flourish, Musk activated a holographic display at the center of the conference table. The room darkened, and a high-resolution image of Mars materialized before them, slowly rotating in the air. "For the past year," Musk continued, "we've been operating a classified network of advanced space telescopes. Their primary mission was to conduct detailed observations of Mars, far beyond what any previous technology has been capable of." The image zoomed in, revealing stunning detail of the Martian surface. But it was what lay beneath that surface that drew gasps from the assembled team. "What you're seeing," Musk explained, his voice barely above a whisper, "is evidence of substantial liquid water reservoirs beneath the Martian polar ice caps." The room erupted into a frenzy of excited chatter. Dr. Amelia Rodriguez, SpaceX's lead astrobiologist, leaned forward, her eyes wide with wonder. "Elon, are you saying what I think you're saying?" Musk nodded, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "It's not just water, Amelia. Our instruments have detected complex organic molecules in these subsurface water bodies. The implications are, well, I hardly need to spell them out for this group." The excitement in the room was palpable. The possibility of liquid water on Mars, long theorized but never conclusively proven, had profound implications for the search for extraterrestrial life and the potential for human colonization of the Red Planet. Dr. James Chen, head of SpaceX's propulsion division, was the first to break the stunned silence that followed Musk's announcement. "This changes everything about our Mars colonization plan. We need to completely reassess our approach." Musk nodded in agreement. "Exactly, James. That's why I've called you all here. We need to analyze this data from every angle, consider all implications, and develop a new strategy. We need to do it fast." For the next several hours, the room was a hive of activity. Scientists and engineers pored over the data, engaged in heated debates, and began sketching out new plans on digital whiteboards. The implications of the discovery were far-reaching, touching on everything from life support systems to potential methods for extracting and utilizing Martian water. Dr. Rodriguez led a passionate discussion about the potential for microbial life. If there's liquid water and organic molecules, we have to consider the very real possibility that Mars hosts, or at least once hosted, some form of life, she argued. This could be the greatest scientific discovery in human history. As the initial excitement began to settle, the team turned to the practical implications of their discovery. Dr. Sarah Lee, an expert in terraforming technologies, raised a crucial point. While this is undoubtedly exciting for potential colonization efforts, we need to consider the ethical implications. If there is indigenous life on Mars, even microbial, how does that impact our plans? Questions sparked a heated debate. Some argued that the presence of life would make colonization even more crucial, as it would provide unprecedented opportunities for scientific study. Others contended that it might necessitate a more cautious, less invasive approach to Martian exploration. As the discussion raged on, Musk's phone buzzed with an incoming call. stepped out of the room to answer it, returning a few minutes later with news that added another layer of complexity to the situation. "That was the White House," Musk announced, silencing the room. "They've caught wind of our discovery. The president wants me in Washington immediately to brief him and his advisors." The team exchanged glances, suddenly aware of the wider implications of their work. This wasn't just a scientific discovery anymore. It was about to become a matter of national, even global, importance. "What are you going to tell them?" Dr. Chen asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Musk took a deep breath, his mind clearly racing with possibilities. "The truth," said finally. "But more than that, I'm going to propose a plan that could not only revolutionize our understanding of Mars, but potentially offer a solution, the magnetic field crisis we're facing here on Earth." The team listened intently as Musk outlined his vision. He proposed an accelerated Mars exploration program, one that would run parallel to efforts to address Earth's magnetic field crisis. The presence of water on Mars, he argued, could be crucial for supporting a human presence on the planet, which could serve as a backup drive for humanity in case efforts to stabilize Earth's magnetic field failed. "We need to pursue a two-pronged approach," Musk explained, his voice growing more passionate with each word. "While we continue to work on solutions for Earth's magnetic field, we must also prepare for the possibility that we may need to establish a permanent human presence on Mars. The water we've discovered could be key to making that possible." The proposal was met with a mix of excitement and concern from the team. Dr. Lai voiced what many were thinking. "Elon, what you're suggesting is incredibly ambitious. The technical challenges alone are staggering, not to mention the ethical considerations and the sheer scale of resources required." Musk nodded, acknowledging the validity of her concerns. "You're absolutely right, Sarah. The challenges are immense. But so are the stakes. We're not just talking about scientific discovery here. We're talking about the survival of our species." As the meeting drew to a close, Musk instructed the team to prepare a comprehensive briefing package for his meeting at the White House. "We need to present not just our findings, but a clear, compelling case for why this should be humanity's top priority," he said. The next day, Musk found himself in the Oval Office, facing not only the president, but also a hastily assembled group of top NASA officials, national security advisors, and key members of Congress. The gravity of the situation was palpable as Musk began his presentation. For the next 2 hours, Musk laid out SpaceX's discoveries and his bold proposal for an accelerated Mars program. He emphasized the potential dual benefits, advancing human knowledge and providing a potential safeguard for humanity's future. The reaction from the assembled officials was mixed. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson was the first to speak after Musk's presentation. "Mr. Musk, while the scientific significance of your findings is undeniable, I have serious concerns about the feasibility and cost of what you're proposing. We're already stretched thin trying to address the magnetic field crisis here on Earth." Others in the room echoed Nelson's concern, pointing out the enormous technical challenges and the potential political backlash of investing so heavily in space exploration during a time of global crisis. But there were also voices of support. Dr. Jane Morrison, the president's science advisor, spoke up in favor of Musk's proposal. "We need to think big," she argued. "The magnetic field crisis has shown us how vulnerable we are. Having a plan B for humanity isn't just forward thinking. It might be essential for our survival." The president listened carefully to all viewpoints before turning back to Musk. "Mr. Musk, your discovery is truly remarkable, and your vision is compelling, but we need to be sure we're not abandoning Earth in pursuit of a Martian pipe dream. I want NASA to independently verify your findings and assess the feasibility of your proposal." Musk nodded in agreement. "Of course, Mr. President. We welcome NASA's scrutiny and expertise. I believe that once they've examined our data, they'll see the immense potential of this discovery." In the days that followed, NASA assembled a team of its top scientists to review SpaceX's data and findings. The agency's own Mars orbiters were redirected to focus on the areas identified by SpaceX's secret telescopes, seeking to independently confirm the presence of subsurface water. After an intense week of analysis and verification, NASA held a press conference to announce its findings. Dr. Sarah Moran, NASA's chief Mars scientist, took the podium. After careful review of the data provided by SpaceX and our own independent observations, we can confirm the presence of significant subsurface liquid water reservoirs on Mars, Dr. Moran stated. Furthermore, we agree that the spectral data suggests the presence of complex organic molecules in these water bodies. While this does not conclusively prove the existence of life, it certainly makes Mars an even more tantalizing target for exploration. The NASA confirmation lent significant credibility to Musk's claims and proposal, sparked a renewed global interest in Mars exploration, with calls from various quarters to increase funding and accelerate mission timeline. Musk, emboldened by NASA's support, redoubled his efforts to push for an accelerated Mars program. In a series of high-profile interviews and social media posts, he made his case directly to the public. "We stand at a crossroads in human history," Musk declared in a widely shared video. "The crisis we face on Earth is grave, but we now have a potential lifeline in Mars. We need a plan B for humanity, and Mars, with its newly discovered water resources, could be that plan." As the chapter draws to a close, the world finds itself grappling with the implications of this momentous discovery. The possibility of water on Mars has reignited humanity's dreams of becoming a multi-planet species, while also intensifying the debate about where our priorities should lie in the face of the ongoing magnetic field crisis. The formation of a special task force to develop plans for Mars exploration and research marks the beginning of a new era in space exploration and planetary science. As work begins on this ambitious project, the world watches with a mixture of hope, skepticism, and anticipation. Will Mars prove to be humanity's salvation, or will it become a costly distraction from the pressing issues on Earth? As we stand on the brink of this new frontier, only time will tell how this bold venture will shape the future of our species. To stay informed about these groundbreaking developments, and to engage in discussions about the future of Mars exploration and its implications for humanity, we encourage you to subscribe to the What If Elon YouTube channel. Join us as we continue to explore the possibilities and challenges that lie ahead in this exciting new chapter of human history. Chapter 11: Global Debate on Earth's Future versus Mars Exploration. The world was still reeling from the revelation of water on Mars when Elon Musk's proposal for an accelerated Mars colonization program ignited a global firestorm of controversy. The debate that ensued transcended national borders, political ideologies, and scientific disciplines, forcing humanity to grapple with fundamental questions about its future and place in the cosmos. In the halls of academia, the scientific community found itself deeply divided. A heated discourse erupted in peer-reviewed journals and international conferences about the prioritization of research efforts between Earth's magnetic field and Mars exploration. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a leading geophysicist from Japan, published a widely read op-ed in Nature, arguing for a focus on Earth. The magnetic field crisis presents an immediate existential threat to all life on Earth. While the discovery on Mars is exciting, it does not negate the urgency of our situation here. We must prioritize research into stabilizing and potentially regenerating Earth's magnetic field. Her words resonated with many in the scientific community, particularly those working on Earth-based solutions to the magnetic field crisis. Dr. Tanaka's op-ed sparked a flurry of supporting articles and research proposals aimed at redirecting resources towards terrestrial solutions. On the other side of the debate, Dr. Markus Stein, an astrobiologist from Germany, countered in his own publication. Potential discovery of life on Mars could revolutionize our understanding of the universe and our place in it. Moreover, developing technologies for Mars colonization could yield solutions applicable to our problems on Earth. We cannot afford to ignore this opportunity. Dr. Stein's argument gained traction among those who saw space exploration as a catalyst for technological advancement and scientific discovery. His supporters argued that the challenges of Mars colonization could drive innovations in fields such as renewable energy, resource management, and life support systems, all of which could have direct applications in addressing Earth's environmental crises. The debate wasn't confined to scientific circles. environmental activists worldwide mobilized against what they saw as a dangerous shift away from Earth-centric solutions. Greenpeace launched a global campaign titled Earth First, with striking images of a lush Earth juxtaposed against the barren Martian landscape. Greta Thunberg, now in her early 20s and a powerful voice in environmental advocacy, gave an impassioned speech at a rally in Stockholm. We cannot abandon the only home we've ever known. The idea that we can simply move to Mars if we destroy Earth is a dangerous fantasy. We must redouble our efforts to protect and heal our planet, not seek an escape route. Thunberg's words sparked a global movement. Protests erupted in major cities worldwide, with demonstrators carrying signs that read, "Save Earth, not Mars," and "Fix it here, not there." The movement gained particular strength among younger generations, who saw the Mars proposal as an abdication of responsibility for Earth's environmental problem. As the controversy grew, major news networks organized a series of global televised debates on the ethics of interplanetary migration. These primetime events featured scientists, philosophers, religious leaders, and policymakers, all grappling with the profound moral and practical implications of potentially relocating a portion of humanity to another planet. One particularly memorable exchange occurred between Dr. Sarah Chen, proponent of Mars exploration, and Father Giovanni Rossi, a respected Catholic theologian. Dr. Chen argued, expanding to Mars doesn't mean abandoning Earth. It's about ensuring the long-term survival of our species and expanding the realm of human knowledge and experience. Father Rossi countered, but at what cost to our humanity? Are we not stewards of this planet given to us by God? To abandon it in its time of need seems a grave dereliction of our divine duty. The debate highlighted the complex intersection of science, ethics, and faith the Mars proposal had brought to the forefront of global consciousness. Meanwhile, leaders from developing nations voiced growing concerns about being left behind in what was shaping up to be a new space race. At a conference of African Union leaders in Addis Ababa, several heads of state expressed their apprehensions. "We are still grappling with basic issues of development and poverty alleviation," stated the president of Kenya. "How can we possibly participate in or benefit from a Mars colonization effort? We fear this will only widen the gap between developed and developing nations." These concerns resonated with many who saw the Mars project as a luxury that only wealthy nations could afford. Critics argued that the enormous resources required for Mars colonization would be better spent addressing global inequality and development challenges on Earth. In response to the growing controversy, Elon Musk embarked on a media blitz to explain and defend his vision. In a series of high-profile interviews, he sought to address the concerns and criticisms that had been leveled at his plan. On a CNN primetime special, Musk emphasized the dual nature of his proposal. "This isn't an either-or situation. We're not choosing between Earth and Mars. We're working to secure humanity's future on both planets. The technologies we develop for Mars could be crucial in addressing our problems on Earth, including the magnetic field crisis." When pressed about the enormous costs involved, and the argument that those resources could be better spent on Earth, Musk countered, "Throughout history, exploration and innovation have driven progress. The space program has already given us countless technologies that improve life on Earth. Pushing forward with Mars exploration will accelerate this process, potentially yielding solutions we haven't even imagined yet." Musk's media campaign had a significant impact, swaying some critics and galvanizing his supporters. However, it also intensified the backlash from those who saw the Mars project as a misallocation of resources and attention. Despite the controversy, Musk's vision found strong support in the tech industry. Major companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft announced plans to invest heavily in space-related research and development. These tech giants saw potential not just in the direct applications for space exploration, but in the spillover technologies that could revolutionize life on Earth. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Alphabet, Google's parent company, stated in a press release, "Challenges of Mars colonization will drive innovation in AI, robotics, energy production, and resource management. These advancements will be crucial not just for space exploration, but for addressing our most pressing issues on Earth, including the magnetic field crisis." As tech companies lined up behind the Mars Initiative, a counter-movement began to take shape. The Save Earth First Coalition, a diverse group of environmental organizations, social justice advocates, and concerned citizens, organized protests in major cities worldwide. In New York, thousands gathered in Central Park, forming a human chain in the shape of the Earth. In Paris, protesters projected images of Earth's natural wonders onto the Eiffel Tower. The slogan, Notre seule maison, our only home, prominently displayed. The movement gained traction on social media, with the hashtag #SaveEarthFirst trending globally. Celebrities and influencers joined the cause, creating viral videos and posts urging governments and corporations to prioritize Earth's problems over Mars exploration. As the debate raged in the secular world, religious leaders also began to weigh in on the moral and spiritual implications of humanity, potentially leaving its cosmic cradle. The Vatican released a statement from Pope Francis, calling for careful consideration of the ethical implications of Mars colonization, while emphasizing humanity's responsibility as stewards of Earth. Islamic scholars held a conference in Dubai to discuss the compatibility of Mars colonization with Islamic teaching. While opinions varied, many emphasized the importance of preserving and protecting Earth as a divine creation. In India, Hindu leaders spoke of the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world as one family, questioning whether this philosophy could or should extend to a Martian colony. Buddhist leaders, while generally open to the idea of expanding human consciousness through space exploration, cautioned against attachment to worldly ambitions at the expense of spiritual growth. The diversity of religious perspectives added another layer of complexity to the already multifaceted debate, highlighting the deep philosophical and spiritual questions raised by the prospect of becoming a multi-planet species. As the global conversation continued to evolve, several prominent polling organizations conducted a worldwide survey to gauge public opinion on the Mars Initiative. The results revealed a deeply divided global populace. The survey, which included respondents from over 100 countries, showed that approximately 48% of people supported accelerating Mars exploration and potential colonization, seeing it as a bold and necessary step for humanity's future. Another 45% opposed the initiative, believing that resources should be focused on solving Earth's problems. The remaining 7% were undecided. Interestingly, the survey revealed significant demographic and geographic variations in opinion. Younger generations, and those in developed countries, tended to be more supportive of the Mars Initiative, while older individuals and those in developing nations were more likely to oppose it. These results underscored the complex nature of the debate and the challenges facing policymakers as they attempted to chart a course forward. The deep divisions in public opinion mirrored the schisms seen in scientific, political, and philosophical circles. As the chapter draws to a close, the world finds itself at a crossroads. The discovery of water on Mars and the subsequent proposal for accelerated exploration and potential colonization have forced humanity to grapple with fundamental questions about its future. The debate has transcended traditional political and ideological boundaries, touching on core issues of human identity, morality, and our place in the cosmos. The coming months and years will be crucial in determining the direction humanity chooses to take. Will we prioritize solving Earth's immediate crises, or will we reach for the stars in hopes of securing a multi-planet future? Can we find a way to do both? The answers to these questions will shape the trajectory of our species for generations to come. To stay informed about the ongoing global debate surrounding Mars exploration and Earth's future, and to engage in discussions about these critical issues, we encourage you to subscribe to the What If Elon YouTube channel. Join us as we continue to explore the complex intersection of science, ethics, and human ambition that will shape our species' destiny. Chapter 12. First scientific efforts to restore Earth's magnetic field. The grand halls of the Palais des Nations in Geneva buzzed with a nervous energy as scientists from around the world gathered for what many were calling the most crucial scientific conference in human history. The International Conference on Earth's Magnetic Field Restoration, ICEMFR, was about to begin. and the weight of humanity's future hung heavy in the air. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the lead author of the comprehensive report on Earth's magnetic field decline, stepped up to the podium to deliver the opening address. Her usually steady voice wavered slightly as she began. Colleagues, distinguished guests, we stand at a precipice. The rapid decline of Earth's magnetic field threatens not just our way of life, but potentially all life on this planet. Our task here is nothing short of monumental: to find a way to restore or stabilize our planet's magnetic shield. As Dr. Rodriguez's words echoed through the hall, the assembled scientists exchanged glances that mixed determination with trepidation. The challenge before them was unprecedented, and the stakes could not be higher. Over the next several days, scientists from diverse fields presented their theories and models for addressing the magnetic field crisis. Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, a geophysicist from the University of Tokyo, proposed a daring plan to stimulate the Earth's core using controlled nuclear explosions deep within the planet. By carefully orchestrating a series of deep Earth nuclear detonations, Dr. Tanaka explained, his hands moving animatedly as he spoke, we believe we can reinvigorate the convection currents in the outer core, generate our magnetic field. The proposal sparked immediate controversy. Dr. Sarah Chen from MIT voiced her concerns. While the theory is sound, the risks of unintended consequences are enormous. We could potentially trigger catastrophic earthquakes or volcanic eruption. As the debate raged on, a joint team from SpaceX and NASA presented their own ambitious plan. Dr. James Morrison, head of NASA's Geomagnetic Research Division, took the stage alongside Gwynne Shotwell, president of SpaceX. We propose a network of advanced satellites. Dr. Morrison began, equipped with powerful electromagnets and plasma generators. These satellites would work in concert to create an artificial magnetosphere around Earth. Shotwell then stepped forward, adding, SpaceX's reusable rocket technology makes it feasible to deploy and maintain such a network, a fraction of the cost of traditional launch methods. The proposal was met with a mix of excitement and skepticism. Many scientists were impressed by the innovative approach, but others questioned the long-term sustainability of an artificial magnetosphere. As the conference progressed, smaller-scale experiments were also presented. Dr. Lena Miller from the Max Planck Institute showcased the results of laboratory tests on creating localized magnetic field. We've successfully generated stable magnetic fields at a small scale, Dr. Miller explained, pointing to a series of graphs and images. While we're still far from planetary-scale application, these results prove the concept is viable. However, the excitement generated by Dr. Miller's presentation was tempered by sobering news from other research. A team from the Chinese Academy of Sciences reported on their failed attempts to enhance Earth's magnetic field locally. Despite our best efforts, Dr. Li Wei said, his voice heavy with disappointment, we were unable to produce any measurable improvement in magnetic field strength. The scale of the problem simply dwarfs our current technological capability. This news sent a ripple of concern through the conference. If even localized enhancements proved challenging, how could they hope to address the global issue? It was at this point that Elon Musk, who had been observing the proceedings with keen interest, requested to address the assembly. As he took the stage, a hush fell over the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, Musk began, his voice filled with the enthusiasm that had become his trademark. I believe we're approaching this problem from the wrong angle. Instead of trying to fix the Earth's core, why don't we create our own magnetic field using space-based solar power? Musk went on to outline a bold plan involving a network of massive solar arrays in space, which would use the sun's energy to power enormous electromagnets. We have the rocket technology to make this happen, he asserted. And the beauty of this solution is that it's scalable and controllable. The proposal ignited a firestorm of discussion. Some scientists were captivated by the audacity of the plan, while others dismissed it as yet another of Musk's grandiose schemes. Dr. Rodriguez, who had been listening intently, raised a crucial point. Mr. Musk, while your proposal is intriguing, have you considered the potential impact on Earth's natural systems? We must be cautious about introducing such a powerful artificial influence. Musk acknowledged the concern but argued that the risks of inaction far outweighed the potential side effects. Plan. The debate continued well into the night, with no clear consensus emerging. As the conference entered its final days, a sense of urgency permeated the discussion. Dr. Alan Shepard, a climatologist from the University of Oxford, presented a grim timeline. Based on current projections, Dr. Shepard explained, his voice grave, we have less than a decade to implement an effective solution before the weakening magnetic field begins to have catastrophic effects on our climate and ecosystem. The sobering presentation sparked a renewed determination among the attendees. In a show of global cooperation, representatives from various nations announced the formation of a worldwide network of magnetic field research stations. We will combine our resources and share all data in real time, announced Dr. Fatima Al-Farsi from the newly formed International Magnetic Field Monitoring Agency. This network will give us unprecedented insight into the behavior of our planet's magnetic field and allow us to track the effectiveness of our interventions. Despite this positive step, the conference ended without a clear solution to the crisis. As the scientists prepared to return to their respective countries, there was a palpable sense of both hope and frustration. In the closing session, Dr. Rodriguez took the stage once more. We have made significant progress in understanding the scope of our challenge, she said, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. But we must face the reality that we may not find a complete solution in time. Therefore, I propose that we pursue a two-pronged approach. She went on to outline a strategy that combined continued efforts to restore Earth's magnetic field with preparations for potential large-scale adaptation to a weakened field. This included accelerating research into radiation shielding technologies and even revisiting proposals for Mars colonization as a backup plan for humanity. The proposal was met with a mix of resignation and determination. It was a tacit acknowledgement that despite their best efforts, they might not be able to fully solve the crisis. Yet it also provided a framework for moving forward in the face of uncertainty. As the conference came to a close, the attendees filed out of the Palais des Nations, their minds racing with the enormity of the challenge ahead. They carried with them not just new knowledge and ideas, also the weight of humanity's future on their shoulders. In the days that followed, as news of the conference's outcome spread, the global reaction was intense. Some media outlets praised the scientific community's transparency and commitment, while others criticized the lack of a clear solution. Elon Musk, never one to stay silent, took to social media to rally public support for increased funding and resources for magnetic field research. This is the greatest challenge humanity has ever faced, he tweeted. We need a Manhattan Project for the 21st century, but on a global scale. Who's with me? Save Earth's magnetosphere. The tweet went viral, sparking a renewed public interest in the magnetic field crisis. Citizen science initiatives sprang up around the world, with amateur scientists and enthusiasts contributing to data collection and analysis effort. However, not everyone was convinced by the scientific community's approach. Climate change skeptics seized upon the uncertainty expressed at the conference to cast doubt on the severity of the magnetic field crisis. First, it was global warming. Now it's magnetic fields, one prominent skeptic wrote in an op-ed. When will these scientists admit they don't have all the answers? Such criticisms were swiftly countered by the scientific community, but they highlighted the ongoing challenge of communicating complex scientific issues to the public. As the chapter draws to a close, the world finds itself in a race against time. First concerted scientific efforts to restore Earth's magnetic field have begun. Success is far from guaranteed. The coming months and years will be crucial in determining whether humanity can rise to this unprecedented challenge. The decisions made, technologies developed, and the global cooperation fostered in response to this crisis will shape the future of our species and our planet. As we stand on the brink of this new frontier of scientific endeavor, one thing is clear: the fate of Earth's magnetic field, and possibly of humanity itself, hangs in the balance. To stay informed about the ongoing efforts to address the Earth's magnetic field crisis, and to engage in discussions about these critical scientific developments, we encourage you to subscribe to the What If Elon YouTube channel. Join us as we continue to explore the cutting-edge research and innovative solutions could determine the future of our planet.
What did you think of the last chapter? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, What If Elon, for more exciting content. Your support means a lot.